All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring a deeply personal, incredibly common, and honestly, a highly unspoken shift that happens in a woman's life after marriage. We're going to unpack the subtle ways our identity transforms and, far more importantly, how to actually reclaim it. We've got some fascinating ground to cover today, so let's just get right to it.
So, I want you to honestly reflect on this for a second. If someone walked up to you right now and said, "Hey, tell me about yourself," what is literally the first thing out of your mouth? Is it your name, your profession, things you're passionate about? Or if you're married, has that introduction kind of subtly shifted? Do you find yourself saying, "Oh, I'm his wife," or "I live with my in-laws," before anything else? It's a really fascinating psychological pivot, right? Where your own name actually becomes secondary and your relationship status suddenly becomes your primary identifier.
Now, before we go any further, let's be super clear about something. Marriage is a beautiful choice. Today is absolutely not about judging relationships. Instead, we're focusing on this quiet, really undramatic loss of individual identity. Because it doesn't happen with some big argument or dramatic announcement. No way. It happens silently. It's just this gradual, almost invisible shift from I to we, until the I almost disappears completely.
Section 1. Priya's story, the silent fade.
To really get a grasp on this, let's look at Priya. She's a 28-year-old freelance writer from Pune. Before she got married, she had this very specific, sacred rhythm. Every single morning, she'd have her tea and write for one solid, totally uninterrupted hour. It was her time. But then comes marriage, and a happy, completely drama-free marriage at that. But suddenly, there are new relationships to manage, household chores, her husband's schedule taking over, and slowly, little by little, that one quiet hour was just completely overwritten by everything else.
And you know what's truly wild about Priya's situation? She never actually told anyone she gave up her writing time, mostly because there didn't seem to be a point. Nobody was demanding she stop, her husband didn't forbid it, her in-laws weren't asking her to change. It literally just slipped away into the background noise of everyday life. And this right here is exactly the silent fading moment so many married women instantly recognize. Your hobby, your work, your unique voice, it just quietly gets packed away in a box in the attic of your life.
Let's move on to Section 2. Why do we lose ourselves? The root cause.
So, why exactly does this happen so easily to so many of us? Well, it all comes down to deeply ingrained societal conditioning that essentially tricks us into giving away our personal space without even realizing it's happening. Think about it. From a very young age, these unwritten rules are just planted in our minds. A good wife sacrifices everything, prioritizing your own needs is inherently selfish, and the collective we must always completely erase the individual I.
Listen, the crucial takeaway here is that this loss of self, it is absolutely not your fault. Sure, you do it to yourself, but only because you absorbed these societal messages so entirely. You absorb them until your own fundamental needs start to feel genuinely selfish to you. You become totally unaware of the massive amounts of time, energy, and individuality you're giving away on a daily basis. You stop tracking the losses because society keeps whispering that losing yourself is just, well, part of the job description.
Section 3. Reclaiming your space, the turning point.
Okay, let's jump back to Priya for a second. One day, she's just casually cleaning up and she stumbles across this old notebook. Inside was an article she had written 2 years ago. Reading her own old words triggered something strange and incredibly powerful inside her. She wanted to cry, and she suddenly realized why. She missed the version of herself that was just her. She missed the Priya who wrote, the Priya who wasn't just a wife or a daughter-in-law, but a totally individual person with her own entirely separate universe.
And that moment of clarity was huge for her. She made a bold decision right then and there to take her writing back, without asking for permission or feeling like she was hurting anyone. She sat her husband down and clearly communicated a boundary. She simply said, "I need 1 hour every day, just for me. I want to write because it keeps me whole as a person."
Now, saying that out loud was completely terrifying for her. All that old societal conditioning flared right up, making her feel like she was making this terribly selfish demand. But guess what? Her husband completely agreed. He got it. Her responsibilities didn't magically vanish, the chores were definitely still there, but by carving out that one highly protected hour, her sense of self slowly started to return. It proves a really vital point. Practical, clear communication works way more often than we assume, provided we actually gather the courage to just try it.
Section 4. The foundation. Why personal space matters.
Let's zoom out of it. Having your own skills, interests, or even just financial awareness isn't some cute luxury add-on. It's the absolute bedrock of a healthy life. Maintaining your own identity naturally makes you a significantly better partner, because cliché as it sounds, you literally cannot pour from an empty cup. When you feel whole, you simply have so much more to give to your relationships. And crucially, keeping a skill sharp or building deep financial awareness ensures you've got a secure foundation. You become a stronger, much more resilient human being.
And this brings us to a really crucial takeaway. No relationship, no matter how loving, how incredibly supportive, or how wonderful it is, can ever be a substitute for your own identity or your personal independence. You absolutely must exist for yourself first. The ultimate goal is to build your relationship on top of an independent foundation that belongs entirely 100% to you.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5. Today's task, the spark.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a personal task, a question to spark your own journey back to yourself. What was that one lost skill, that one hobby, or that one quiet habit that was entirely yours before it just kind of faded into the background? I want you to take one small step to reclaim it today, even if it's literally just dedicating 15 minutes to it. Drop a comment below and share it with us. What is it that you want to bring back? Because remember, even after marriage, you are still the exact same vibrant, incredible person you always were. Don't lose her. Thanks so much for joining me, and I seriously can't wait to read your comments.